And did, yeah, no,
I,
no, I
listen,
don't care.
yep, I'm gonna save mine for later. Cause yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I'm
well,
gonna save
Topic. Good topic.
it is a good topic because it
Give
made
us
me
the
mad.
intro. Give us the intro, doggy. What we doing? Give us the intro, EK.
Yeah, since
Oh well,
Jessica and them,
yes. Welcome to the Let You Know podcast. I see we on live and direct, and let's go through the panel. We got my boy NOOZ.
You're what up though? What up though, y'all?
I got P in the house,
Yes, sir. Good evening, y'all.
and I got my mother. I got a special guest. I got my mother, Carol Kellogg, in his house,
hey,
and then we got B Wade, newcomer. How you doing, B Wade?
Hello, hi everyone.
hi.
Good evening.
All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna start with the homeschool versus a homeschool versus regular school. So I wanted to start off with the OG since this is the reason why I got you on. So I know you ready to spill the beans about how you feel. So go ahead, Miss Kellogg. What you got to say?
Well, I go for in school simply because I worked in the school system for a while. And I had to teach math. I've tutored kids, and the homeschool was not working. Most of the time, they weren't even on the video. They was turning tricks in their bedroom or doing stuff, and their mom still wasn't monitoring them. And I just think they need to be in a classroom setting, for extra support and help with directing
So I got a
and showing
question.
them skills.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just found out there's better to have them in a place, and then it teaches them social skills. People doesn't. I mean, I think right now there's some of the with the era that we're going through now, they're not friendly, and they don't know how to communicate.
I agree with everything she's saying on that one. I preach, Miss Kellogg.
Well,
Preach.
they
It
don't.
ain't. It's more than just your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s
Right,
that you get when you in that school.
Well,
exactly.
socialization is massive.
Massive. And you know what? You have them for so many years from kindergarten to sixth grade, even preschool now. That's why they begin at preschool because you have to learn how to work in society, live in society, I should
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Well,
And
I
I
agree.
see the difference between in school and out of school. I do.
Well, it also
I mean,
depends on.
our president wasn't an A student,
No,
Who?
he was probably C minus.
but
I
his
have
social, but what he does to get his business done has all about, like you said, social skills.
Yep, networking and social skills, knowing how to read people, talk to people, do business with people in a respectful manner. Like, but they don't teach that in school.
Is learning how to relate. Just because you have an opinion does not mean that's good for you. It's not good for everybody. There's a way to do it. And we're getting away from that social skills and how to
Mhm.
be respectful and still get your point across.
Well, and a big thing about the social skills too is the way these kids are being raised at home nowadays. You know, when we were growing up, and I mean we as in like Ed, Eric, we're in our 40s. We didn't have a cell phone or a tablet to stick in our face from when we got up to when we went down to sleep. We had to go outside and talk to people, find friends, go on bike rides, go play
Right.
basketball, things like that. Well, these kids nowadays, you know, they call them iPad babies because from like 2 years old on, they got headphones on and they got an iPad, completely ignoring reality. They don't know how to socialize. They don't know. I mean, these kids are getting into fourth, fifth, sixth grade without the ability to read, write, do simple mathematics, or even hold a pen correctly. So,
And then if they choose to ignore you, they do that, which is rude.
correct. Yeah.
Then you have to like demand, hey, excuse me, take this off and let's put those away right now. We're doing something else. And then they
And,
would rather get up and walk away from you or out of the room because they want to do what they want to do.
and then on top of that, I
Yep.
feel like on top of everything that everybody just said, I feel like with the homeschooling, I mean, I can't speak for everybody because there's some people that do it a different way, but I feel like if my mom's not a Miss Kellogg, then and my mom only has so much of a education. There's only so far that she can teach me. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true.
That's
That's
true.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. See, I
Well,
couldn't
Yeah.
do
I
like.
have a different opinion. I think that there's pros and cons to both. I
I
think
agree.
there can be benefits to homeschooling, as I was a parent of a student or a child that did both. And um, I think with both settings, the parent plays a big part in the success of the student or the child.
Agree.
If there's
Right.
no all schools, whether you homeschool or you're in the classroom, there's still a curriculum that the teacher and students must abide by. So if um, everyone is working together to meet the requirements of that curriculum, then the student can be successful. So if you're homeschooling and it's the parents that's the teacher and they signed up to make them to allow their child to be homeschooled, then they must, in order for their child to be successful, they must submit what the curriculum is, and they must dedicate themselves to make sure that they carry out that teaching. When my son was being homeschooled, coincidentally, I don't really believe in coincidences, but I think it was set up by God to allow it to fall into place. My boyfriend at the time had been hospitalized for a couple of weeks due to heart failure, and he ended up passing away. But during that time, I took off work and we were basically living at the hospital. And because he was being homeschooled, he was able to not fall behind in his classroom work because he was being able to log online at the hospital. So,
That's an exception to the rule. I mean, I understand that because you sound like the mother that invest in your child, but there are so many mothers because I used to go with we used to have um, a counselor, and her and
mhm,
I used to do home visits in the school. And a couple of times, I mean, most of the time that we went to the kids' their home, it was not a good fit for us. I
mhm,
mean, a couple of them came to the door in the lingerie and was mad that we were there, slammed the door in our face. Don't
mhm,
come to this
Yeah.
school, you know. They didn't want to, we tried to have parenting classes and show them, tutoring how to work with your kid at home. Didn't half of them show. They
mhm.
signed up for it, but they never showed up.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
did become a lot of responsibility, as I've always worked full time. So the time that I was able to dedicate to supervising or making sure that his assignments were met, I eventually had to pull away from homeschooling and go back to the traditional setting because it just didn't fit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And let's
Well,
be
okay.
real.
We got
Most
two other
most of
people
the
on. I got my Aunt Janine on here, and we got
Hi.
Bobby Johnson.
What's up, y'all?
What's up,
Hi.
Bob?
How you doing? Okay,
Good.
I didn't hear everything from because I got on a little late. But as far as homeschooling, in certain cases, it's good. If, like I said, if the parent knows the curriculum, if she's well educated and knows, you know, back and forth, you have to send the work back to the school so they can see it. You have to have knowledge of what's, the educational, what they need
the
for their
curriculum.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah, the curriculum. I couldn't think of that word. But
Uh-huh.
nowadays I'm thinking if I had a student in elementary school, because I've worked in education I just retired for 35 years. And then when
Yeah.
I was there, we got along. It wasn't as bad as it is now. And mostly every child you see is on medication. They don't have
Mhm.
any respect for you. And you don't want your child around that because I see kids come to me so, oh, they're scared. And most of the teachers there, they're scared of the parents when the parents come up. So they don't
Yeah.
discipline the children.
I can see that.
But this day and age, but they need that socialization. They do need that, within a school setting, but
Yeah.
it's kind of hard. What I would do, and I know you didn't have this to talk about this, but I would send my children to a private school. They're more disciplined, and it seems like they come out a little more educated and college orientated, you know.
I
But
th-
as far as I don't know,
I
in
know
this day and age, I wouldn't want to send my child to public school. And I
Yeah.
hate to say that because I was there for 35 years. But I mean, this is the way it is. It's the sign of the times.
Yeah, I think private school is somewhere in the middle because,
Don't
like
have the
B was saying,
resources.
like B was saying with her son, that one-on-one contact where you're not worried about. I mean, the teacher don't have to worry about 15 other kids. You got the full focus on that one kid. Private school is like somewhere in the middle of there, where, like you said, the kids are a little bit more respectful. Of course, you're gonna have at least one in there that's gonna be a little
Yeah.
off the side or whatever, but it meets in the middle because you get that full attention where the classrooms are not that big, so you get more
No,
one-on-one
Right.
stuff
Right.
like
And you
it's
Right.
speak about
in
the
the small
social part
classroom.
of being in a traditional classroom. A part of the curriculum from homes for homeschooling is you have to account for some type of social time. So whatever that's
Right.
getting out
Right.
and
There, that part.
but I think a lot of people don't have the resources for private school. And then my son did start off in a private Christian school, and the resources wasn't the problem, but I thought the focus of the curriculum was not in alignment with what I wanted him to learn. It was so focused on the Bible and memorizing
Yeah.
Bible verses. And I'm like, what is he going to do when he's in the second grade and he needs to know
Mhm.
English and math? Yeah,
Yeah.
he know how to recite every Bible verse, but come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Well,
speak to
Well,
they
that.
my
teach
son,
them math and they teach them
They
English and
do
they
math.
teach
generally,
that.
but
I
it was 70% Christian homework.
Okay. Okay.
when we
That was
went
But
to
my
Christian
experience.
school,
yeah.
when I was in the second and third from our church had started that, and we had shared desks, and we had regular curriculum, but we did have in the morning devotion and that, but we still learned math and English and that. But she used to pinch our ears and stuff. But we
Yeah.
would take
You think
make
that really
practice.
happen anymore? I
He did.
Well,
I think I
and
would.
most of the children they can't learn. The classroom teacher, all she's doing is focused on the person that's acting up,
Yep.
and she can't really even teach because she's too busy disciplining.
Right.
You
And
know?
you take like 10 or 15 of those kids per class
I remember
in
her
like
Yeah.
2 a day.
oh,
Nothing, they can't get anything done.
No, that's true. That's true.
well, I'm gonna speak on it because my kids is kind of homeschooled at the moment. My oldest son, he has. I'm not gonna throw it out there, but I believe he has a little bit of autism in him, and so
yeah.
sometimes he has the mindset to where he's wandering off in places and stuff like that, and he might look like he talking to himself, but really he's in his imagination. But if you talk to him like a regular kid, he know how to his motor skills, his speaking, he knows all that. He's very intelligent. He could tell you stuff, history, sports history, human history. He can tell you all that stuff just by asking him because he's like a human brain. But
Yeah.
like he first was in school, it was a bit of a problem because they was trying to label him instead of really putting forth the effort. And I noticed with him
Well,
being
they learn different. That's what it is. You can't
Yeah,
do.
they
it,
take them to the classroom. There's somebody that helps them excel in that. They have help for autism children
Yeah.
in the school. You know, and it brings out the best what they're good at. They might not be good as this normal, the norm, but they're good in their own way.
Yeah,
And that's
They
what
time
helps.
to go to learn about that special needs kids.
So I think are you saying that special needs kids should be in the same classroom as regular kids?
I
Depends
think
on the
Yeah,
they
level of
can.
special
After
needs.
a
yeah,
while,
and then
they
they
do.
come. The
They
teacher
infuse
comes in
them
and
in
helps them.
for for a little while. They be in there maybe 2 or 3 hours a day with the other kids, and then they go back to their learning style in their classroom.
Sometimes the teacher she goes into the classroom
And
with them
with them, yeah,
instead of
that's
him coming
good.
out of the
Either one.
classroom now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, but I seen the change in him more so when he was around us, learning from us more so than he would with just sitting in the classroom when she has to deal with so many other students, and he really needs to be like a tutor by himself off, learning. And I see that way, but at the time they was kind of like pushed back and not really trying to help us in that department though.
And see, with
Well, that's
what
when
you
you're
say,
supposed to make some noise.
I
yeah,
did. I took him out, but now I feel like both of my kids
I think he
they
should go
at
back.
so they missing those social skills to where they
Social
want to,
skills with other people, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
but at the
because
If
they
you're
same,
gonna live
are
in a
they,
world, if you're gonna
go ahead.
oh yeah, I was saying at the same time though, Eric, like with your kid in particular, you've taken the time to realize that it's not a learning disability, that it is, he's on the spectrum, that he is insanely intelligent. The teachers don't look at that sometimes, man. If they're not marked, if they don't have something in their file that says, this kid is autistic, he needs special help with learning, I think it is better off to have homeschool because like nobody knows their kid better than Eric. And if he knows what his kid's going through, then he can actually access his kid and teach his kid in a way that he can understand is going to make his kid go further in education initially than he ever could at school, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I mean, right now I'm pushing for them to get back into school now because I feel like now they do need that
Mm-hmm.
they need that social skill because my
Yeah.
kids are very sociable. Even though they really don't be around a whole lot of kids, they still sociable with other kids. They know how to play with other kids. They know how to make friends, especially my daughter. She's one of the best at making.
Yeah.
Whether
yeah.
you whether you 35 or you 4 years old, she know how to gravitate people towards her every time. I know my kids don't never have a problem with being social with anybody.
Do you
I'm more focused on making sure they stay as far as learning, going forward.
when
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
say when you
I
That's
said
mean, the
right.
earlier,
real problem is
It,
the lack of teachers.
when you were
Well,
saying
they're
earlier, like
quitting it, like
if a
regular
kid
grade.
has a special, like a teacher that comes in every now and then, that teacher is like, she's not a regular teacher, right? She's like
No.
specialized.
Yeah,
If
she
your
specializes in that. Yeah.
so if your kid has autism, I'm saying, so if you're taking them home to a homeschool and the mother or the father's not that specialized teacher, then you're kind of going backwards, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in a way, but if you know your kid, then you should know how to deal with them in a way to where, you know what I'm saying, that shouldn't matter.
But
Because
they
Or
have special training
they just come to
teachers
the
that,
house. If they come to the classroom for an hour, they can come to the house for an hour. A
yep,
specialized
they sure
teacher.
can
They
sign
yeah,
you
probably
up.
prefer that.
But you probably got to pay for that extra.
Yeah, I'm
true.
sure sources. Oh,
I, I
Yeah.
think I, I think I'm more against, like I said, if I have somebody like Miss Kellogg or Miss Janine as the homeschool mother teaching or a father teaching that has that experience, then it
Mhm.
makes sense. But if not, then I feel like you almost just winging it. You almost like, all right, we're gonna start here. Okay, then now when we get to Pythagorean theorem, now what?
Yeah.
but that's the
I,
same as even regular schooling. So when we sign up for homeschool, you have to be capable to be able to teach, or
Mm-hmm.
you're
Hmm.
going to have to bring someone in that can. It doesn't always have to be the parent that homeschools them, because I can be an educated parent, but I might not know the math to be able to teach it that way. I might be great at English, but I don't know math or
Hmm.
science.
I don't know. So are these grades being reported to like a like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like how does a kid that homeschools get his high school diploma?
It goes to the
Right.
school board.
Well, the homeschool that we were in, it was like a program. There's an entity that it's saying like you sign up for this homeschool school. All the learning is at home, but it's a company, it's a business.
Mhm.
So there are, times where this has to be due at this certain time and date, and it has to be submitted and on time,
Hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to report that. And so they report that to the Department of Education on behalf of your child.
What you think
Right.
about all this, Mr. Bobby Johnson? You've been kind of quiet tonight. What you think about all this?
Still there.
Bobby, you there? Look at him. We gonna move on. We gonna move on with that guy.
Okay.
We got Ray in here. Ray, you there?
Present.
What's
Well,
up, Ray? How you doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to turn my camera back on.
But you know they don't teach cursive writing anymore.
I know.
No.
That's what
Yeah.
we was just talking earlier about.
I
Yeah.
was to
I'm
say that
okay
that's
with that though.
what I don't like about the system, especially here in Indianapolis, is that the and the Pledge of Allegiance, that all that stuff is being taken out of school,
Yeah.
and how they feel like a kid's gonna sign for
Right.
important
Yeah.
documents or
Yeah.
like that.
My
Like
and
my son literally cursive for the first time when I signed the paper and asked me what was that, and I was like, "This is my name in
They
cursive."
can't read it.
So
Yeah. They can't even read cursive writing because they're
my
not
friend
taught
has
anymore.
so I
had
had
her son write in a cursive notebook all summer. Like
Hmm.
every day. She pulls him away from that video game and I'm on the phone talking to her and she makes him practice his cursive writing.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
that's a good idea because I
Practice
haven't
makes
really.
perfect.
What's crazy is that I haven't even really thought about teaching them how to cursive writing because it's not needed. I just think about definitely money. I drill them on money all the time. How much money? If you want to buy something and I want this amount, you tell me what that is. So
Yeah,
I'm really,
economics is
especially
huge.
we
But
go.
what happens if they need to read a contract and that, or just a note, a letter, and
Yeah.
they
Or getting a
wrote it in cursive,
job and have to sign here, and
or
they
that
print
person
it
wrote it in cursive
at a
and
job
tell
But,
them
interview.
how
Something.
much money
They
they're
can
going to
learn how
get
to
back.
sign their name, but using cursive overall, nobody uses cursive anymore for anything important. It's just signing.
That
So you
But
can
what
that's
I'm
do
why they
big,
don't teach it.
is if
yeah.
you get
I
a
mean,
contract and someone says, I'm going to pay you this much to do a job, and I wrote that on a sheet of paper, but I wrote it in cursive. If you can't communicate with me because I wrote in cursive, then now you're out of money.
that's
You
a
don't
great.
get the job.
Yeah, that's a great
That
point.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's where I think that's kind of where the pros is for going to school, but it's got to be a particular school. Like I was telling news today, like most men they more focused on making sure their son is learning. They really don't care if it's homeschooling or regular school, as long as he getting taught the right way. I mean, as far as learning, with
Right.
my knowing that I know them, that's why I feel like it's more important now to get them in school because I can tell the shift and the change in them where they actually need to be in school now.
Yeah, but they pick up on so much negativity, though, because we had a lot of Hispanics that came in, and they were quiet, but then they started acting like I'm gonna say it. They started acting like the
Oh,
black kids.
How about say it?
I said it. They started acting up like them, And
yeah.
it's like, oh boy, they try to act like so and so now,
Mhm.
but it's the catch is on.
yeah.
We
I
got
mean,
that thing where everybody wants to latch on to the negative and the positive. I don't know what it is
Right.
about us.
Well,
Wait, I see an OG Bobby Johnson signing. What's up, man?
What's
We
up?
ain't heard from you today. What's up, man? Give us some of your insight on this. What you think about homeschooling, regular schooling? What's your take on this matter?
Well, I definitely disagree with having your kid homeschooled. For one, it doesn't allow them to be able to interact with different kids from different cultures, races, and so forth.
right.
Uh, that being said, I also think uh, private schools are better for kids at you know younger or earlier grades. I'll say like K through like the eighth middle school, because for one, my I went to public schools and my kids went to public schools, but my stepkids went to Catholic schools. And but at the same time, they went to Catholic schools K through eighth. Then after eighth, they went to public schools. And I also had a friend that was around my age. His parents did the same thing for him. Like he went to Catholic or private, schools like K through eighth, and then he went to a public high school. And I feel like my stepkids, they were ahead of the game compared to like everybody else in their class. I mean, like my stepdaughter, she had a 4.3 GPA, you know, all through high school, and now she's going to Marquette. And you know, my stepson, he he had a 3.5 GPA like till he was a sophomore in high school. But then COVID hit. I don't know. He kind of didn't apply himself, but I can definitely see the difference between the maturity level and then also just how much further ahead they were as far as education wise compared to my kids. You know, where my kids were just average.
So that's what you saying. You saying so private schools was better?
If I was going to do it all over again, like if I was to have kids right now, I would put my kids in private schools till they get to high school.
Yeah.
High school, put them in a public. I think
Yeah.
high school is good for as far as public because
Yeah.
it gets them used to like other kids from the inner city, and like I said, gets them used to other cultures and races where they normally, like say public or Catholic, they might not be exposed to those type of people or
Mm.
culture.
I agree with that, but I have a question, Mr. Johnson. How do you think the parents were involved in both scenarios? You as a parent to your children, and then your stepchildren. How was their parenting involved in their schooling?
I would say, um, well, my as far as my stepkids, I mean, my wife, she took a lot of time, you know, spending with them as far as like their education goes outside of school. Their dad, I really can't speak for. Um, I with my kids, I was working like overnights, and so I really wasn't home at the time, and I don't know. I feel like if I was home during the day at the time when my kids were growing up, um, they probably would have did better. But my kids, I only had my kids like every other weekend, so you know I didn't have the total say so as far as what school I wanted my kids to
Yeah.
go in.
So to my point, I think a lot of it doesn't really matter what setting our children are in. I think it's how much the parent applies themselves and dedicates their efforts in making sure that their child is successful. I am a product of 100% public school my entire life. I have a lengthy education. A lot of my friends that are successful were products of public schools. Northwest High School, Broad Ripple High School, and out of my friend groups, they are the most successful ones. The ones that were in private school, I'm not saying all of them, but half of them probably ended up on drugs. I'm not saying that they weren't great students at the time.
Yeah.
Even the township schools, they're just not as successful as my circle of friends that came from came from public schools. I'm not, and that's just not like a black and white, like if you went to public, if you went to private, if you went, like, I don't believe in that. I think it so much has to do, and this is parenting as well. The success of your child comes from the involvement of a parent.
Yeah.
And I'll
That's where it
let y'all
starts
talk.
at.
I agree.
I
As
think
it
it
starts
ends
at
there too. My
Yeah.
son is 25 years old, and I can compare him. He wasn't, he didn't walk a straight line, but I think because I'm willing to jump on his back and grab him from up under them, like the Bible says, come from up underneath them.
hmm
He's not making bad decisions because I'm still parenting. I'm still involved. I'm
Yep.
still
Never
dedicated.
stops. Yeah.
And so the success of a child comes from the involvement of the parent. That's my point. That's my opinion.
Correct.
That's true.
hmm
Yeah, I agree.
That's so we got. I think we need a segue. Yeah, time to segue to the next subject. Unless you got something to say on that, Ray. All right. What is this next subject, yo? We're gonna touch on. There's a gentleman by the name of William McNeil Jr. in the state of Florida. Um, he was pulled over by the police for was it not having no headlights on? He didn't have his headlights on. They pulled him over when they first put him over. He had his door wide open when the police
I
walked up.
saw that. Yeah.
And so the police like, why you got your door open? You know what I mean? What are you doing? He's like, well, my window don't work. So I open the door for you so I can ask you, what you pulling me over for? And the cop tells him, well, you don't got no headlights on. He's like, well, it ain't dark and it ain't raining. So what I need headlights for? And eventually, once he sees the cops start coming towards him, he slams the door because it looked like he was scared to death. Like, oh shit, I done fucked up now is what he looked like, right? Excuse my language. So then
Weed on him. He had weed on him.
Huh?
He had weed on him.
I ain't got there yet. Give me a second. So then the police officer calls backup. They got him boxed in. He's in the middle. They got one cop car in the front, one cop car in the back. They banging on his window, telling him to open the window. He's like, "Yo, what did I do? Tell me what what are y'all doing? What is all this for, basically?" And they don't want to have a conversation with him. So the guy tells him, "Go ahead, break the window." So the cop breaks the window.
Oh yeah.
Breaking the window, he ends up after that. He punches him in the face.
He clocked him. Yeah.
Clocked him right in the jaw. The man takes it, looks right at his phone because he did have his phone on. He was recording everything. They drag him out the ground.
Passport and IDs. Can you
What happened?
We lost him.
He hit him again.
Well, yeah.
They ganged him. They just started ganging him.
Yep.
They just beat him up for nothing.
So I mean, so what's y'all take on it?
But that was not necessary.
P, we ain't heard from you either. What's your take on it? We'll give you to start off with it.
He's gone. I don't know.
P, can you hear me?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a recent video going around because he started recording right when they started getting
they gave
ready
me
to
the backup, but I don't have any experience in that field. I abide by the law and I drive the speed limit.
Listen, the only thing I said,
that was police brutality. It was at its worst.
You think so?
I pray for them.
I know so. That was. He clocked him twice. Even after he had him on the ground, he hit him again. He broke his window and punched him in the jaw. Then they put him out of the car. He was on the ground. He punched him again.
Yeah.
And I haven't followed it anymore. I don't know what happened, but I think he got that lawyer Benjamin Crump on the job.
Yeah, I think
he always gets. But yeah. And then it was a congressman in Dallas. Is it Dallas? I just saw that today where they drug him out of there because he was telling them, he said, all you Republicans in here, all you trying to do is do favors for Trump. And they got mad and said, you're done. They drug him out of there, knocked him on the floor, pulled him, and then he went to jail for standing up.
I agree. Everything about that situation starts at when they broke the window. So you guys are 100% right. When they punched him in the face and dragged him out the car, that punch in the face was police brutality. They didn't need to do that shit. But at the same time, I'm with Eric on this because if you see the video from the cops on their body cam, he was being an asshole that whole time. Like, he was under arrest while his door was open. He could have stepped out and just dealt with it. But, I mean, he kind of caused the whole broken window thing on himself. But after the window broke and they punched him in the face, I was completely on his side. So,
well,
you're saying being an asshole. Being an asshole means you can get punched in the face by the police. The people that are protecting.
That's the opposite. That's the opposite of what I'm saying.
Never.
Well, so why?
But I thought he said he asked to call his superiors.
Why even bring up the fact that he's an asshole? What they got to do with anything?
I'm just saying the situation, how it was, how he was acting. It's important when you're talking about a situation. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with the cops. Obviously, they punched him in his face. That's police brutality. But I can understand why they were pissed off that they asked him to open his door 17,000 times, and he was just,
scared to death. He was scared to open his door. They had him boxed in with 8 cops around him, and we know how that works, right? We see what goes on with black people. So,
well, I've been in that situation myself, and that's not fun.
They do it with
We don't make it out of those situations a lot of times. And like you said, Eric wants to bring up, he had weed on him. So that don't mean you punch me in the face. That don't mean you throw my face in the cement. That don't mean all that. You just
No,
take
it
me to
don't.
jail.
No,
Not
you
in
should.
2025, man. Weed ain't shit.
But he should
Exactly.
open up the
That's
door
why.
and
That's
got out.
right. When he
But he
brought up
probably
weed, I'm
was.
like, so weed is weed. And in Florida, it's probably legal in Florida. I don't know, but
Nah,
everything else legal in Florida.
nah. I think the reason why the man, I mean, a lot of stuff didn't come out, man. I mean, they knew the reason why they pulled him over is because for one, his license was suspended. And for two, he knew when he shut that door, he realized that he had the weed in there. So that's the reason why the kind of the tone changed for me because I heard the police officer say several times, man, can you get out the car? They said it several times, get out the car. And
What was
being,
he doing while they were asking him that?
huh?
When they were asking him to get out the car, what was he doing?
Asking
He
them to
was
call their superiors.
yep,
Yeah,
he
Thank you.
did
you wanted a
all
CO
that.
on scene.
So when the superior came, right, the superior said his exact words. Now he said, we're gonna use excessive force if you don't come out. That's what he said. After they said it a couple times. Now, right up until the time they started busting his window out and he hit him in the face, that's when I was like, nah, I'm on his side for real. Because what he did was he made the situation worse by knowing that he was getting ready to go to jail. Right? Right? Because I mean, you got a suspended license and you smoking weed. Obviously, you getting ready to go to jail, or at least tonight. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I wouldn't want my son in that situation because I would tell him, man, do what complies. Because the madder you get them to be, the more we gonna see stuff like that on the news. And what end up happening? The stuff end up happening on the news, but the only good thing about it is that he did not die in that situation. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
What you think about a black cop being there and missed all? Even though the white guy punched him in the face, it was mostly white cops. There was also a black cop there.
They probably would have been worse. They
No,
probably would have
I'm
been
saying
worse.
there was a black cop there. Why you think? Why you don't think
I didn't
he?
see the black cop. I just seen two white cops on the side because the camera that I seen the full camera of what happened right up until when they pulled him over and they came to his vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard everything what they were saying. They kept saying they was trying to get him to comply, and he kept asking for their superior. So they did, but
I don't
then
think the superior
after
ever came though.
say that again.
I don't think the superior ever came because it's not like they called on their radios and said, "Hey, can we get so and so
You know,
off?"
some sergeant.
It's like you're getting pulled over some bullshit. I'm saying, hey, what I get pulled over for? Your headlights. Well, my headlights don't need to be on right now, sir. What am I being pulled over for? And you don't want to tell me. So then I ask, well, let me speak to your superior, and it leads to this. Because just like you saying, dude was an asshole. You don't think the police officer was an asshole? They don't. Yeah, bro. Hey,
Completely.
bro. We're gonna, bro. They was mocking him and everything. So
Yeah,
we both
completely.
assholes. Bottom line is they here to protect and serve. Protect and serve. They're not here to punch niggas in the mouth. They're not
No,
here to shoot niggas
right,
in the back. They're
right.
not supposed to do that.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't, and that's why we're in the position where we at now with the situations because this is the reason why. But at the same time, as a father, you like, man, comply with the police, man, because it could have got worse, man, because he trying to be too tough about it. You feel me? Like if that was your son, you telling me you would tell him to stand his ground like that, because he could have possibly died. And I thank God it didn't happen. But what I'm saying is that man, I would want my son to lay down, get out the car, lay down. All right, because you don't know how trigger happy these police officers are. You don't know what they thinking, what bad day they went through, and they still on the job. You feel me? So you got to think about it, and they really don't like black men. Period. Right? So
No.
Yeah,
so that's
Yeah,
another reason why I feel like he should have just complied because he kind of made it more worse than what it should have been.
he about to
And
get a lawsuit. I bet it ain't gonna be that bad. By the
Well,
way,
well,
we
I
got
thank
Skylar in
God
that. We
for
got
listen.
Skylar in the comments. Hold on, we
I
got
get
Skylar in the
it.
comments with you. She says, I think that that was past point. He didn't need to act like an asshole. He already knew he was caught and riding around bogus. And then she says exactly, just comply and survive. That's
Yeah,
Skylar in the
That
he
comments.
made
shit,
it worse. I mean, he could have went and got a weed charge and then got out of jail the next day if that was the case. But now he's got a resisting arrest. He's got this, that, and the other, which I'm not saying is a great charge. Like resisting arrest, he didn't really resist. He just sat there.
Correct.
But
Correct.
now he's got another bunch of
nah,
charges that he has to deal with. But he wasn't thinking about that. He was just thinking about
What other
making a
bunch of
video.
charges is that?
listen, I thank God that he
Hold
was
on, hold
able
on,
to
hold on,
get
hold
this
on. Slow down, slow
lawsuit.
down, slow down, slow down. What other bunch of charges is he facing?
No, resisting arrest. He's got the bud charge. He's got. They're probably going to tag every little thing that they because with the cops too, let's say they find weed in your car or something like that, but they pull you over for lights. They're not going to tag you on all that shit. Suspended license, broken headlight, this, that, and the other. Now they're going to pile everything on them that they can and probably make up new shit. So it's the
A
corruption of the
misdemeanor.
cops
A
too.
misdemeanor is turning into $1 million lawsuit, right?
It
Yeah,
could.
pretty much.
Well, I thank God he got the money because it could have been way worse.
I don't see it going any other way except that way. Like I said, them niggas was dead wrong, yo.
Yeah,
Uh,
they once they not even when they cracked the window because they had to get in and get him out somehow, but they could have unbuckled him and pulled him out and
Yep.
arrested him, and then basically read him his rights and put him in the back of their paddy wagon. But instead, the guy busted the window, and then the other cop punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and then they pulled him out, and then he got hit a second time, and then you
Yeah.
don't know what happened after that because it basically went away from the camera. He went down on the ground. Who knows? Maybe he got kicked a couple times. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you see
also
any
hold on,
resisting? Did
hold
you
on,
see any
hold on.
resisting by Mr. Bobby Johnson? Did you see any resisting arrest?
Eric, I'm
I
signing off.
not from
okay,
that.
all right, Auntie, love
All
you.
right.
It
Appreciate
Night,
you.
was,
Michelle.
No,
but also the other thing too. Whenever you see these scenes, you got to make sure that you look at all different news sources
Yep.
because news sources can give you, oh well, the reason why they pulled him over was because he's had this and that and the other before, and they could just be throwing that out there basically to justify the cops acting like an ass, like like the way they did. And police, well, the reason why they got rough with him is because he he's a repeated offender. He was they found crack in his car, and just trying to justify the reason. Say you really have to look at all aspects of the news because certain news will give you misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
yep, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's like if you watch Fox versus CNN, Fox is going to be on the side of the police almost
Exactly.
100% of the time, and CNN's always going to be on the side of the victim. So, depending, you got to get your news from multiple sources, kind of tie those things together, and then make your, opinion based on as much information as you have available. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, Ev is right, or News is right. That punch in the face that ended the whole conversation because that was just unnecessary.
Right. The cops lost the argument after that point.
Yeah.
Ray, you got
Get the-
anything to say on that, Ray?
Well, my prior offenses, my little thuggish ways. But no, I had a similar incident, just not with the violent side, and I believe it's because my mama and my brother and them was in the car with me. But me and we had literally just came from the pool, and I guess somebody got into a fight outside the pool, and this is in Greenwood, mind you. It was like a good 12, 15 cop cars out there. But unbeknownst to us, we just having a good old time. And so once we get to our car, my brother and my coworker wanted to smoke a cigarette. So we sitting out there just watching everybody leave. When I finally get in my truck to pull off, the cop pull up behind my truck. So we just sitting there waiting for him to get done talking with the pool lady. And my best friend, she hunks the horn impatiently. And they look back and I had a paper plate on my truck. Now, mind you, it was expired by 4 days. Okay. So I pull out and not even 30 seconds, the motherfucker was right behind me. He followed me all the way to almost got to the highway entrance, whatever, and pulled me over. And he claims that because my plate was 4 days old, that's why he pulled me over. And I'm like, I know you got 30 days or some time afterwards expires, so I don't understand, but okay. So then he asked for all our licenses, and then my brother and best friend was like, "Why? You need ours. You just need the drivers." But he was like, "Cause I just wanted." I was like, "All right." So he's a dick. He already being a dick. So we complied, and then he come back with ourselves, see that we ain't got no warrants. We all clean. He was like, he wanted to search my truck, and I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Cause I believe I smell weed." I'm like, "Dude, we literally just left the pool. Like, we smell like chlorine. You got four niggas in the damn truck. How the hell you smell weed? Like, we smell like chlorine and nicotine. Whatever." But he found my damn weed bag and oh wait, let me tell you that. This is something I've never seen before. While we were in the truck, he told me to turn the truck off. He had so cop cars pull up, two other cars pull up with a dog. He tells me to stay in the car, and he takes a tennis ball and he throws it at my truck 3 times. The dog jumps up on my truck 3 times. He says that indicated that there was something in the truck. I'm like, dude, I've never seen that in my fucking life.
Yeah, I
Ever.
think the dogs are bullshit.
He knew you was he knew you wasn't on that side of town.
But yeah, but that's what I said. Yeah, we were definitely not, in Kansas anymore. But the fact was, like, we wasn't involved in the situation, a fight or nothing. But the fact that they came up there for no reason and they already left, that they were just pulling people over as they were leaving it. Because, like, we passed by 6 people that was pulled over.
What time of the
And I was
month
like,
was
y'all
it?
were, yeah, like we weren't even smoking. Like, oh, this shit some bullshit. But at the end of the day, I know if my mama wasn't there or none of it would just been me and my brother type shit. It would definitely been that type of situation because they was on some bullshit.
My question to y'all is: do y'all think it like the questioning of the police? Like, is it because we've seen videos where white people have literally talked to police and talked their way out of some shit. We've seen white people have AK-47s in the middle of the street. They, you know what I mean? They take their time with them. We've seen white people shoot up in church, get taken to Burger King. I mean, this is wild, Joe. Niggas is getting punched in the face for having no headlights, no headlights on or whatever in the daytime.
Yeah.
And but I said they
Yep.
would have not known. Like you have to have proper cause in order to get pulled over. So their headlight was their reasoning, and then they try to justify it by say, "Oh, I smell weed." That's all they can say. That's all. And my lawyer told me that. That's all they have to say on the dash cam. When he got in the car, he said, "I think I smell weed." I'm like,
I had a situation like this when I was coming home from work one day, and this is pertinent. I was coming home from work. I work at the liquor store. This cop pulled me over because he said I didn't use my turn signal when I was getting off an exit ramp. You don't need a turn signal. Anyways, I had open containers in my car. I had my pistol in my car. The open containers because I just got off work at a liquor store because I was testing stuff. Either way, he said the
Mm-hmm.
reason that, yeah, shut up, man. Either way, he said the reason that I pulled you over is because you didn't stop and use your turn signal. And when he came back with the warning to the window, he said, I need you to step out the car. I'm like, what the hell you need to step out the car for? He says, step out the car. We're going to pull you out the car. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to step out the car then. So as soon as I step out the car, I'm in handcuffs and put in the back of the paddy wagon because he thought he smelled weed in my car. There was no weed in my car. But eventually, as far as it went on, I'm feeling like I'm in trouble now. I got open containers. I got a loaded pistol. At the end of the day, though, once he came to my car, and I learned this afterwards because of the sergeant that was there. Once he came to my car and offered me that ticket or that warning that said, this is what you're being pulled over for, that is the end of the stop. He has to let me go legally. So I think a lot of these, like she was just saying with the cops, I smell weed, they use that I smell weed shit just to get into the next phase of their bullshit. Because most of the time when they pull you over and they come up to your car and tell you what you did, that's it. They don't have any other legal bounds for going into your car, charging you with shit.
And he said, he's like, I'll give you a warning if I don't find nothing. That's what he said. I'm
Yeah, see,
like,
that gave him more
But he
time.
knew, but he knew he was gonna find something. That's why he was fucking with
being
y'all.
racial profiled at the end of the day. Like, we literally came from the fucking pool. Nothing was lit up. When I tell you my shit was deep in the car, he was searching for a minute before he found my fucking bag.
Oh yeah,
Right,
he didn't
because we
know.
know
He
if they
didn't
was
know
to
you
pull
had
over
that.
everybody
He was
like they
going to
pull
search.
over us, they're gonna find shit. I mean, people have pills. People, yeah, I mean, people have oxycodone and shit. So we know they're gonna find shit if they did the same profiling that they did us. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
But look, what was funny about the whole situation? He tried to play it off. They told me I had to go to what's it called, the turn that class,
Oh yeah.
that class. We'll start with a D, whatever it's called. So I get in there, right? I literally, my right hand, I literally just put my blunt out before I hit the exit, and I'm like, fuck this shit. If I'm going out with a bang. Fuck you. I'll pull up in the motherfucker, and I got my security stuff. I'm about to get ready to go to work. I was like, all right. I walk in there. He's like, you're not what the description describes you. I'm like, what did he say? He's like, he made it seem like you a drug dealer. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He said you got over 100 bags. You had scales. You had. I was like,
Man,
what the fuck, man? I was like, but nah. He was like, but go ahead and tell me the story. So I told him the story. He was like, yeah, you don't need this. I was like, thank you. I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, if I smoke, I'm smoking on my behalf. It ain't about me trying to out here selling or none of that shit. This is me personal. Like, I need it for a personal reason. At the end of the day, you want me to be smoking than not smoking. Like, like you don't want me sober. So at the end of the, let me be great. And I mean, I was real as fuck to him. And he's like, you know, I'm about to call the judge right now. He's like, you don't need this. He's like, fuck that. He's like, they try to put you on there for 2 years. I'm like, what? I was like, oh hell. No. But yeah, that's how I got out of that. And they ended up dismissing my case and everything. But I had like 6 felonies.
yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
You had 6 guns in your
Damn,
car?
that shit just went off.
Nah, he
I don't
was
know.
trying to
Something
get me
happened. Every,
around. Like everything. And that's why I said the way he had wrote in his, cop report or whatever, it was made it seem like I was out here just slanging. I'm like a criminal, just doing the most. I'm like, dude, seriously? Like
That's
that's
true.
totally opposite of what I am.
Nah,
Mm-hmm.
man. Like I said, it's a twisted world, man. Like I said, I hope homeboy win. I seen he was with Al Sharpton. Unfortunately, I see he got Benjamin
of
Crump, who I'm
course
not
he
a
gonna
fan of.
win, man. He gonna
Yeah.
win.
He definitely should. I think he should.
But he
I mean,
got Al Sharpton next to him. He knows, man, that's a bad look.
but
Man, he
no,
civil lawsuit afterwards. They're gonna be suing the motherfucking city and the state afterwards with Al Sharpton on the motherfucker.
Yeah, he I could see maybe, and we don't even know if that's true, what they were talking about, how he had a suspended license and weed in the car. We don't know because,
well, he pulled the weed out of his pocket.
oh, okay.
But that
And the boy said he got in his car. He said wherever he was, he got in his car. He said he drove about 19 19 feet, and the cops pulled his ass over.
Oh, they
Evan.
were looking at him then.
It's called fruit from the poisonous tree. Is what it's called. So at the
Yep.
end of the day, after everything, after that one thing with them getting hit, everything afterwards being dismissed. So if he pulled that weed out afterwards, after he got hit, all that's gonna get dismissed. So at the end of the day, he probably gonna get a ticket for what the headlight type thing, and everything's gonna be a
He
slap.
about to get paid. He about
I
to
think he
get
was
paid.
driving with driving on a suspended license or no insurance, one of the two, something like
He'll
that.
probably be on
They
probation.
would have not found that out until they pulled him over.
No, that's
Right.
after.
No, they
He'll
can
be
find
probation,
out.
but
The
Until
it,
they
police got them.
put him
Police
out.
got that little. They got that machine on their car to where they can highlight your license plates and find out if you got
But
insurance.
bottom line is the reason they didn't say I pulled you over because they said I pulled you over because your lights is off. And then once they, like you said, they run his ID, then they find out, oh, his shit ain't right.
If that's everything is lining up like it's supposed to until that moment when he got hit. That's where everything afterwards with him pulling out, he could have pulled out motherfucking AK and a Uzi and a slinger after that. Everything's gonna be dismissed after that because of that reason.
Mm.
That's why I brought up my story earlier too, because everything after, sir, this is your warning for not using your turn signal, that was fruit of the poisonous tree. That's exactly what she's talking about. If they have, just right to search or just right to ask you a question or whatever they're doing, that's fine. But once the interaction is supposed to be over, everything after that, unless you give legitimate reason or have a legitimate concern, is fruit of the poisonous tree. So a lot of people need to understand that, like when they're dealing with the cops, is if they can just get to the point of, receiving a ticket or something like that, or receiving a citation, anything after that, you know,
And guess what else I found out? By law, they're not allowed to have you sit there a certain time. Like
no,
he asked me, how long did it take that other two cops to show up to the scene? And I'm like, shit, it was like good 3-4 minutes. Like motherfuckers was on it type shit because they was just left the fucking pool. So yeah,
Mm.
they in route. They was in calling distance.
Right.
So, but he said that if I would have stayed there longer than a certain time, that was against the law too, or I forgot what it's called, but they was holding me against my right. Fuck, damn, it's something like that. But
Holding
it's
you
just
against
like
your
some
will.
kind of detainment. Like you're not allowed
yeah,
to be detained.
that's what it was. Yeah, that's the yep. They're not allowed to do that, and they got a certain amount of time for backup to show up and shit like that.
Yeah, they have to provide reason. They have to give you a reason why you're being detained. I mean, if they can pull in, like on a murder case, they can pull someone in for 24 hours without charge, but they still need a reason for detainment. Like you can't just hold somebody on the side of the street because you're hoping that maybe somebody comes along and searches their car and finds something. Like probable cause is still a thing.
Word. Word. No, I think we hit that topic in the head like a motherfucker. So we can move on to the next topic, or we can wrap this. We've been on it for an hour, yo. We can keep it pushing, or we can go to I got like two other topics if you want to touch on these other ones I got. But it's up to y'all.
Come on, we can do one
Yeah, let's
more.
let's hear another one.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna jump it like this. So there's a ball player by the name of DeAndre Ayton, played for the Lakers, just got to the Lakers, and allegedly he had went on a trip to Turks and Caicos with some girl, and the news got out that he had left her in Turks and Caicos because she wasn't smashing or whatever like that.
Right, I seen that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but come to find out, I guess the girl posted on the internet that it wasn't even like that. That she was there with some friends that knew him, and she said that she was left by her friends and she was drunk, and so he was nice enough to let her use his driver to get back to the spot. And the driver, who's from wherever from Turks, not like his personal driver that he knows, but the driver that was in Turks was trying to, come on to her while she was drunk, and the driver left her in the middle of the street. So it's not really about DeAndre Ayton, but DeAndre Ayton got the hex of it. But what I want to talk about is, since we got two ladies on the panel, how do y'all feel about men flying you out the country, not to Chicago or St. Louis, but out the country, and y'all talking about I ain't giving you none. What's that about?
I knew as soon as I heard that, I was like, I don't know, either she planned that shit. I know me as a black woman and a person that's always getting hit on. It don't matter if a motherfucker buy me McDonald's, they still want me to smash. So like you getting flown out of the country, that's automatic in my mind. He's gonna expect something sexual out of this situation. Cause this ain't just like like you said, just down the street or around the corner type thing.
Right,
But
right. So
she
I mean,
still got the right to turn it down at any time. It's not saying like she's obligated because he did that. At the end of the day, he could have did something that turned her off and said, "No, I don't want to fucking anymore" type shit. But every woman got a right to say no. But
word.
I know, and initially, that is something that a man would be expecting for something like that.
Yeah, I would
Queen
agree.
B,
Like,
Queen B, what you
Yeah,
got, Queen B?
I think that if you go to 38th Street Or if you go to China, you better have your money to get back. Number one. I've been on trips with female. Well, I've been on a trip with females that because I don't really travel too much. Where um, people don't have enough money to get back, and I just think you should always be able to CYA. But I was invited to this guy that was friends with a lot of NFL players, and him and I we used to smash back in the day. He used to live here. He don't live here anymore. So he hit me up like, "Hey, I want you to meet me in Vegas. I'm gonna pay for your flight, pay for your hair, everything, whoop de woo." So I'm like, "Cool, I'm going." But I end up calling him back like, "I'm not giving up none of these cookies. I just want you to know up front." And then coincidentally, the trip got rescheduled. He said,
as he should, as he should, as but like Ray said, you're entitled to say no, but he's also entitled to say, hey, we need to reschedule. We gotta.
right. And I ain't mad at him
So
because
keep it
I
up.
tell my girls now, I don't want to go out of town with you hoes unless it's some men's there that I could smash. Cause when I'm go out of town, out the country for, and I don't get no D. So
I like you.
They gonna say-
I like you. I like you.
But no, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times people don't keep it real or upfront in the beginning either. They like they want
Because
to
there's not a lot of grown-ups. It's not a lot of
and
grown-ups
shit.
anymore, Ray.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna tell you up front, hey, this ain't what it is, and if that's what you expect, then I'm sorry. If you stick around, that means you agree we on the same page. If not, deuces. I'm not about to cry about it.
but in
Yeah.
another note, I've hung out with guys that the expectation to hook up was there, but once they hung out with me, I was such a fun girl. Like back in the day, Yo Gotti and them used to come up here. He didn't make it back then, but he was like a local artist that we kept getting. So this one guy that I used to talk to, he the one that brought Yo Gotti and all them here. And so um when he, because I was talking to him, I got, stage passes or whatever. So they were like, well, y'all can just Yo Gotti manager, he had a little manager, he was like, can y'all go back? Me and the chick I was with, can y'all go back to the hotel with us? So I was like, cool. So we plotting, me and my buddy, I call her my sister. We plotting on how much money we about to charge them to sleep with them. So we like, we want 5,000. We ended up with a 6-pack of beer and some White Castles, but we never, we never had sex with them. We get to the hotel, we freestyling. We so cool, and they were like, man, y'all the coolest chicks we ever hung out with. When I say we did not have sex, it was not that we didn't even feel pressure. They didn't even ask us for sex because we kept them interested in us the whole time. Like we were just chilling. We were so cool that's my whole point is you can really turn the position of what the trip could be if you're not comfortable with having sex. You can still enjoy the trip and have fun.
That's true. Yeah, that's a great point.
My question to you be is because this is what's puzzling me. The guy that you said you had gave him the cookies before, and then he invited you in the future to go to Vegas. Why was he not invited to the cookies anymore, even though he had experienced in the past?
Evan, I'm sure you can contest to this that there are some people that, I may have slept with in the past that I just don't sleep with today. Like we have an option to say no. Sometimes you just don't you become friends and you just don't do that anymore.
Say, just tell them it's like
Grow
a
out of that.
faucet. When it's on, it's on. But then
Too
when you
far.
ready to turn that shit off, you ready to turn it off.
For sure. And I don't and I it ain't even no bad blood. It's just I was I was feeling obligated to somebody else at the time. But if you want to take me and flaunt me off to your NFL friends, I'll
That's another
go.
story.
Huh?
So that's another story then.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
just
it
like
is. And keep that story because I definitely want to hear it too.
what?
Oh,
I
you
want
saying yeah?
right when it develops. How about that?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, P. Would you fly a chick out to another country just because she was super duper cool?
Heck
No,
yeah, I would.
No, I'm not talking to you, B. I'm talking to my man
Oh,
P over here. My bad.
no. I mean, that's I was going with what they were saying too. Like, you shouldn't have expectations, and if you do, talk about that shit prior to making the ticket plans. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I understand when these guys are going across the country looking for, or across the world looking for wives, but you flying in for what?
Sand to
Like,
the
to
beach, taking
smash?
sand to the beach, taking sand to the beach.
Yeah. Like, I just don't
But
get the.
little
And it
do
seems
men
like
know
nine
that
times
you can always finesse a woman out of her panties.
you
It's
can.
how much game you got. So the
So I'm just saying
expectations
the
I
might have
idea
love
of
been
her.
this.
I love you right now. Who are you? How come you ain't been on this show
On
before?
that bullshit.
Where
That
have you
bullshit.
been this whole time?
Shut the hell up, dude.
Dude,
No, I
crazy
was just
man.
talking
He
about
I'm
the
just
Don't
keeping
idea
it.
of
know
it.
that shit.
I'm just keeping it real because I
Oh,
mean I understand everything that's coming out of her mouth. Like, to be honest with you, I do. But it's just for me now that I'm a father and I'm more focused on my kids. I'm more of a settled down type of person now.
oh, thoughtful.
So you've been kicking it with a girl for a little while. She's funny. I done ate, but you ain't got none. And you win 2 tickets to the Bahamas. You taking her, or you taking the babe that you know how she that you know how she was?
Wait, you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm probably taking my kids. No.
Your kids can't come.
You
There's
only
no
got one
children on
ticket,
this
nigga. You
trip.
got
Oh
one
shit!
ticket.
Look! Now you trying to put me on the spot. I
You
see
got
that.
one ticket, my
I'm a,
nigga. You can take the
I'll,
babe. You can take the babe that you have smashed, or you can take the babe that you haven't
Man,
smashed.
I'm gonna take the one
I'll
that's
answer your
going.
question.
I'm gonna take the one that I can enjoy the most, man. Because I don't want to just think about just sex. I want to enjoy
Yeah.
myself. Because it's
Exactly.
more than just. Because you got to do more than just fuck all the whole trip, man. You got to have
Right.
fun with her and hang out and
I say, but
Yeah.
drink and
that might
you know
be
what I'm
your
saying. So I,
invitation to open the key to that box that you ain't.
Right.
that's
got.
what she was talking about. She
That's an
said it could be
expensive key. That's
switching
an
out.
expensive key.
That's
That's an
why.
expensive
That's
key.
why me and her is here because I feel her. I feel her. I'm taking somebody. I'm taking somebody that I can enjoy and have fun with.
But
Point
that's what I'm
blank.
saying.
Period.
Okay.
If you just said Evan just said if you been chilling with this girl and she ain't gave you none, and you can take her to the Bahamas and potentially get some in the Bahamas, like
If
I'm be up
listen. If
in the
she
Bahamas
is stimulating.
dating.
Right. If she stimulate my mind to where I'm not even focused on that type of stuff, because
Yeah.
of course I know all women think man is thinking about that, and that's totally not
That
true.
wasn't a question. That was
No, but
not
I'm
a
giving you my answer. I'm giving you my answer. I'm
question. That
giving you
was
my
not
answer.
a question.
My
Listen,
thing is, if you
if
kicking
I'm
it with
talking
both
to
of these
this
girls,
girl,
then you
if I'm
like both
talking to
of them. You
no,
you
what I'm
kicking it with
saying
both
is
of them,
it,
so both of them entertain you. So
Right.
they
And it's a
both
hard
entertain you because you
decision. The
kicking it with
only
both of them.
decision left is if you gonna smash or if you might
Possibly
smash and can't
smash.
smash.
Possibly.
Exactly.
But
I'm with Eric
that's
on this.
all romantic
it's not a hard decision. It's not a hard
conversation.
Uh,
decision
Well, pick
What's
one,
the
nigga.
because you know.
decision?
Pick
Listen, because you'll
one.
know.
Pick one.
I'll
I'm gonna
pick
pick the
one.
one I've been talking to.
That
The
you've
one
been
you haven't
smashing.
smashed. The one you have not smashed.
Yeah, I
Thank
Okay.
you.
absolutely will take her.
Same here. Because if I'm vibing with her, I just want to have a good
Yes,
time.
I'm
I
I'm not.
think because with y'all it's a chase. So y'all still in chase mode.
Nah, I wouldn't say chase.
No, I
It's
wouldn't
it's
either.
the it's the
Like,
conquer. The
I get
conquer.
what you saying. I get
not
what
all
you
the
saying. I
time.
get what you saying. I do. I get what you saying because you know what I'm saying we like predators and we looking for our prey. But nah, it's I think it's more. Well, I guess because I'm older now and it's more to that. You know what I'm saying? So
I tell you what, I tell you what, we go out the country, we go out to eat, have a good time, and we
hopefully,
get back to the hotel room, and my dick hard, and you want some bullshit. I'm gonna be mad in a bitch.
man. But listen,
Dizzy, what
but
was Dizzy
That to
about to
yourself.
say before I cut him off?
yeah, go ahead. What was you about to say?
Oh, but you did that to yourself. I mean, if you fly her out and all that kind of shit and spend all that money on, I mean, she just tricked you.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's
that's the
what I'm telling.
thing.
That's my whole point. That's what I'm saying. Why deal with the possible and be pissed if it don't work out when you got the guarantee? They both fun, but
Okay.
you got the guarantee right here. Why
So
am
no.
I gonna mess with a
in your,
chick
But
that's on some?
hold on. It
Why
ain't
am I gonna
listen.
mess
You
with the
let
chick
may
me,
that's
think
gonna
it's not
say,
a
well, if it
guarantee.
happens, it happens. You know what I mean? It's up in the air. You know what I mean? If it happened, it happened. I don't want that shit.
Man, it may not be. It may not be a guarantee with the one that you think is already ready to go. It may not be a guarantee. It's if you got the gift of gab, like you said, you can ease your way into some panties. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, dog.
Oh yeah,
Because my
yeah, you
rebuttal to
can.
Ray is, why I gotta take you to the Bahamas? Why can't I unlock the pussy in that? Why's the Bahamas
Oh,
gotta be the key?
I got a disclaimer on new niggas. You gotta take me out of town if you want to smash.
Ooh,
I don't smash no new
I
niggas.
like that.
I don't smash new niggas locally.
It hit different when you out in a country and it's beautiful and the setting right. Like that's like
You don't be seen with people that you don't be seen with people that you know. Yeah, I know what y'all talking about.
you're
I
done.
ain't gotta go out the country. I can go
Tyler
to
Sharp
Anderson.
said, "Give her the short thing."
So as long as you get something out of it, you good.
No, it ain't about getting something. I think for me, well, I got a lot of issues going on, so it ain't y'all will never understand. I don't think y'all old enough to understand.
Skylar in the comments says no double standard. She said no, this is double standard. She said somebody is spending that guap. They at least expected some sloppy toppy.
Yeah, expecting, but maybe I don't know. Every time I hear a story like this from an athlete flying somebody out or something like that, it always ends the exact same way with
Yeah,
this
for
kind of
sure.
shit.
That's why I
So
said either it was already planned, some type of scheme, or something happened down there where she changed her mind.
Right.
No, I don't want to do it.
Suck it
But
up, girl. Suck it up. We gotta take
But
one for the team. It's time to take one for the team. God damn it.
playing hard will make them go harder. So although he left her there, he gonna double back because it's really about the chase and the conquer. So he knowing that she didn't do nothing, she could have been. If it's an athlete, they really sometimes play roles like because they want to be the chosen one. So they'll try to not have sex. I mean, I don't know, it's a strategy for me.
But you know what a
I'm
man
not, huh?
thinking, B. You know what a man's thinking is, damn, you let Ralph, Bobby, and you let New Edition smash in Indianapolis, but I can't slash. Goddamn, I'm in the Bahamas and it's a maybe. You let these niggas smash off some nothing, which you have the right to. But that's how a
Mhm.
man feels. A man feels like, I know you're not a virgin. You've had sex with men without going to the Bahamas or wherever. Why am I the guy that got to take you to the Bahamas? Am I a sucker for that? Am I the sucker?
yes,
you
yes,
said
No,
you
because
are.
I like you and I want you to
that
respect
damn
me more. So I'm going to hold out.
Like you didn't know if you can't figure out
That
the
don't do.
motivations for a bitch that wants to be flown across from China to the U.S. I mean, that's on you. Like if she, to
No,
me,
I invited her. No, I invited her. This
There's
trip was
oh, I
definitely
know.
an
But
expectation
she's
there,
going to
but
have her own set of things that she wants out of this trip. Let's say what she's actually looking for out of this trip is just to get to the USA, get her started and things like that. And she just wants me to invite her over on a free plane ticket. I mean, she
I would
won.
have told
I
him
will
just
sponsor
bend
that.
over and let me poke you and
Yeah, I'll
we
sponsor that.
both.
But like B said, bend over and let
Thank,
me get that shit. What we
thank.
doing?
No, not bend over
I
and let
accept
me
that.
get
I
it.
approve
My
that,
bad. I
man.
misunderstood. My fault. My fault.
I
Somebody
approve.
talk.
dumbass.
But yeah, no, I appreciate y'all ladies jumping on me here tonight, man. Anybody else got something to say on this topic before we wrap this shit up tonight?
No, I think we about good on that one.
All right, Skylar. Hey, Skylar, I appreciate you jumping on in the comments. Skylar, what up? You gonna get on this next one? Ray, I
Yep.
appreciate you staying up late with us. B, I know we passed your bedtime, so I appreciate you staying up.
Hey, Skylar, I'll send you a message later.
All right, you guys.
All right, ladies. In this
Thank
out,
you.
E. Take us out, EK.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all watching another edition of Let You Know podcast, man. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all always. We out of here.
Hey.
Bye bye.
Let you know.